You fools! We've all got guns!
Exactly. It's like...
Solid Aladdin reference.
You don't get to use that one often.
When things are wrong, I'll be by your side. Even when you want to cry.
Stop it.
Welcome
Welcome.
to the Naked Apple.
In yet another extremely slow week.
So slow that we don't really have anything to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about. The irony being that there is nothing to talk about because every link we had was old news.
Literally.
We're fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. This is fine.
It's fine. It's great.
It's fine.
Kitchen's not on fire.
Nah.
No.
Nah, just take a sip of your drinky drink and carry on.
Yes. As you should.
As you should.
All right, then.
I already want to get to the horses aren't gay story. I'm already there.
There's another frog's gay. Turning the freaking frog's gay.
Chemicals in the water.
Chemicals in the water. I've got the receipts.
If the intro to your podcast needs redemption. You can check out Redemption Tactical.
Can't spend enough time praying for forgiveness.
Lord, forgive me, for I know not what I do.
You've seen Christmas Vacation, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, my wife, her entire life revolves around that scene where the wife watches her husband leave the house and just looks up at the ceiling. Lord, forgive him, for he knows not what he does.
Fix the newel post.
Fix the newel post. Yes, exactly. That's my wife's whole life since marrying me is just that scene on repeat.
Yes, Redemption Tactical, where you can get all your tactical needs. Everything from plate carriers, helmets, bags, and patches, and cool stuff like that. I was just trying to see if they had any other new things since... Oh, they got pants with built-in knee pads.
Oh,
Neat.
do they?
Neat.
Neat. For neatness.
Triple double stacked mag carriers, if you need those. Oh, yeah.
Plate carriers are always nice. Obviously.
Always.
You know.
A must-have for this year's fashion.
They have some good medical kits.
A field notebook. All kinds.
I'm still waiting for them to get the military Roomba in.
Ooh, range bag. I do need one of those. Might go and get a range bag.
Oh, I have a wonderful range bag that I actually won.
My range bag is a NRA range bag.
Oh, nice. Mine is
It's terrible.
Smith & Wesson, I think.
It's terrible, and the NRA is useless.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll have to show you my range bag.
Anyways, if
It's
you
a
have
cool range bag.
if you have anything like that, like how I need to redeem my range bag, apparently. Redemption Tactical, link in the description down below. Tell them we said hi.
That's it. 5 stars and high.
5 stars and hi.
Just give them a little 5-star. And a high.
High.
Appropriate amount of stars, as well as the appropriate greeting to be polite.
Now for it's time for, our weekly dose of definitely not a summary of events. That we like to call the vitamin B. And it goes a little something like this.
Welcome to your vitamin B.
Thank you.
Here we are to wreck your day.
But it's already wrecked.
It's all right. It can only get worse from here.
Worst day of your life so far.
Yes. Speaking of, America just kinda curious if President's alive.
Just kinda.
Just a little. Slightly, kind of curious. Speaking of, Biden to make statement via Ouija board. Yes. Your beloved Vice President, Kamala Harris, has approached a podium to inform everyone in this small interim of a dearth of Biden's presence that Donald Trump will destroy democracy, says the party nominating candidate no one voted for.
I don't appreciate that you said her name wrong. It's Camel Harris. Thank you very much.
Yes. Precisely. Sorry, I misspoke. Mispronounced. My bad. I don't speak Indian, Chinese, African.
What boxes is she checking this time?
I was going to say, what box did she check this week? I don't know which one it is.
She's the perfect fit for Joe Biden. She identifies with every culture.
In other news, sorry, no refunds, says Hunter Biden to all the foreign governments that sent him bribes. Yeah. In most popular move of presidency, Biden quits.
Most popular move.
In related news, the man who just admitted he is unfit to be president assures the nation he will continue being president.
So it's only he and the FBI that have admitted that he's unfit to be president.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And in a bold move following this announcement, the Democratic Party leaders have vowed to save democracy by overruling voters and staging a coup.
That sounds about right.
Yes,
Yeah.
as they should. As they should.
It's democracy in action right there.
And at the same time, desperate Democrats list job opening for presidential candidate on LinkedIn.
I knew I hated that site for a reason.
Missed it by this much. Last but not least, on the world stage, Prime Minister Netanyahu asks if he can talk to the real president.
Will the real president please come forth?
And this has been your Vitamin B. I love the screen grab you used for my face for that.
It's the screen grab we did a long time ago when we first started.
It was beautiful, really.
Yeah. I had to use it somewhere.
Yeah.
What better place to use it than on a bee carrying letters around a screen?
Our budget for these things is just endless.
Spared no
Spared no expense on the
emphasis
creation.
on no expense. Didn't spare it at all.
So cheap it might as well have been free.
Might as well have been. So cheap, I owe the company money.
Ooh. Ooh. That's not nice.
That's not nice.
All right. Let's get down to business.
To defeat the Huns.
That song is just great. Anyway, what do you got for me today?
I have some things.
Some things.
Some things.
Nice.
And they could be summed up.
They could be.
They could be summed up with a soundbite of sorts that sounds something like this.
What the hell is even that?
Never disappoints. Let's see. I wanted to actually start with something I don't have a link to yet. Just trying to find it real quick.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's, I don't have anything to stall with here other than buttons.
All I have is buttons.
All I have is buttons. We haven't started talking yet, so I have nothing to riff off of here.
Well, this is not a mundane detail, Michael.
So, something from my scripture studies actually popped into mind. So I thought I'd share that real quick because it's not related at all. For those that want to follow along, it's in the Book of the Mormons. It's 3rd Nephi, chapter 6. Starting on verse 21. Now, were there many of the people? No, backstory here. They just had signs and wonders that Christ was born. So people were trying to be more righteous and stuff, and they just had the good people just had a massive victory against a group called the Gadianton robbers, who basically just use lyings and backstabbings and murders and stuff to gain power and do stuff behind the people's back. And if possible, get into positions of government and use the government to accomplish their deeds. Verse 21. This is few years have passed. Mm-hmm. Now there were many of the people who were exceedingly angry because of those who testified of these things, of Christ things. And those who were angry were chiefly the chief judges, the governors basically, and they who had been high priests and lawyers. Yea, all those who were lawyers were angry with those who testified of these things. Now there was no lawyer, nor judge, nor high priest that could have power to condemn anyone to death, save their condemnation was signed by the governor of the land. Now there were many of those who testified of the things pertaining to Christ, who testified boldly, who were taken and put to death secretly by the judges, that the knowledge of their death came not unto the governor of the land until after their death. Now behold, this was contrary to the laws of the land, that any man should be put to death, except they had power from the governor of the land. Therefore a complaint came up to the land of Zarahemla, to the governor of the land, against these judges who had condemned the prophets of the Lord unto death, not according to the law. So there's a law in place that says you can't do stuff.
Yes.
But they don't care.
Yes.
Good thing that's not happening today.
No.
Now it came to pass that they were taken and brought up, specify. Good thing there's not politicians doing that today.
Yes.
Just a little clarification there. Now it came to pass that they were taken and brought up before the judge to be judged of their crime which they had done according to the law which had been given by the people. Now it came to pass that those judges had many friends and kindreds, and the remainder, yea, even almost all the lawyers and high priests, did gather themselves together and unite with the kindreds of those judges who were to be tried according to the law. So all their buddies were getting together like, hey, they're about to be tried according to the law, and according to the law, they are to be put to death, because that was the law of the land, is you're breaking the law, and in so breaking the law, you're killing people. So therefore, the law says you don't deserve to be part of our civilization anymore. And they did enter into a covenant one with another, yea, even into that covenant which was given them of old, which covenant was given and administered by the devil, to combine against all righteousness. Therefore they did combine against the people of the Lord, and enter into a covenant to destroy them, and to deliver those who were guilty of murder from the grasp of justice, which was about to be administered according to the law. And they did set at defiance the law and the rights of their country, and they did covenant one with another to destroy the governor, and to establish a king over the land, that the land should no more be at liberty, but should be subject unto kings. Next chapter. Now behold, I was shown to you, they did not establish a king over the land. But the same year, yea, the 30th year, since the sign of Christ, they did destroy upon the judgment seat, yea, did murder the chief judge of the land. And the people are divided one against another. They did separate one from another into tribes, every man according to his family and kindreds, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. They did not gain any power. They just made people more divided to the point where there was no government.
So the libertarians won.
In a roundabout way, yes.
So what I'm gathering from that is when the libertarians win, Christ will come again.
Maybe. Because the libertarians are so united, they will divide against each other. And thereby create absolute chaos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
In which case, yes. The only fix is Christ comes again. Libertarians 2024. End it.
I'm still voting for the super volcano in Yellowstone 2024.
Yeah.
That's my vote.
The answer was beneath our feet this whole time.
The whole time. Whole time.
Don't need no meteor. We got a super volcano. Can split the earth in half.
That's right. And we're close enough, we'll be the first ones to go.
We won't even know.
We won't even know. It'll be over instantly for us.
You won't see an update from us on that story.
No. But you will know we're happy with it.
Yeah. Like I said, felt like reading that. Not at all related to anything going on in our world.
No, of course
at
not.
all of people conspiring behind the scenes to overthrow government and to get people in power that they want to be in power. That's not occurring at all. Joe Biden, on the 21st of July, released a statement that's not on official White House letterhead. That's not on official campaign letterhead.
And it doesn't have an official presidential seal on it.
Not a presidential seal. And the signature is very much in question because it does not match any other signature of Joseph Robinette Biden.
Not a one of them.
In his statement, he says, my fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years...
No. You're saying it too clearly. My fellow... No, that's going to take too long. Just read it.
Exactly. I've said too much. I've said too much.
The nation's lowering precipitation drugs. Wait.
There aren't any numbers in it, so he might have actually made it through.
No. See, that's why they had to type it out. Because if they had tried to get him to read this whole thing up on stage, he would have had an aneurysm.
When my son Bo, that's not on the... Where's he singing?
He's off the reservation again. Quick, get him.
He's off prompter. Secret Service swarms in. Today, America...
Faster than they did when there was a shooter at a Trump rally.
God.
Biting off prompter is more dangerous than an active shooter.
There's actually probably a lot of truth to that. He's going to talk to Putin.
so
He's
bad.
what?
That's so bad.
Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. The sad thing is, it's probably actually true.
Yeah.
We're the least on fire dumpster fire in the world.
We've surpassed the Chinese.
We're standing in less crap than everyone else.
We've surpassed the Chinese economy for the first time since 1978. Okay?
Cool.
You mean we finally surpassed an economy that's been on decline for the last 30
We
years?
finally surpassed the communist economy.
That was propped up by us.
It's propped up by it's essentially our economy.
So the Chinese economy is good because Chinese people buy the stuff from...
Because we buy the Chinese stuff.
Oh.
Used to be made in Japan. Now it's made in China. China. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation and lowering prescription drug costs for seniors and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We provide a critically needed blah, 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 blah. I'm not running for president. That's what it says.
Basically.
The thing that drives me the most crazy about this, aside from the whole none of it matches anything that it should match, and there was an actual press conference when he announced this, and the White House didn't know about it until it was posted on social media, and his campaign apparently didn't know about it because they were saying 20 minutes before it was posted that he's going to be making all these stops and looking forward to the convention, blah, blah, blah. And behind the scenes, we know that Nancy Pelosi and other leadership were pushing him to resign, step out of the race, all those things.
Yeah. Also, if you have seen the thing going around about the U.S. finally recovering its economy beyond the Chinese economy for the first time since the 70s or whatever, that is false news. The U.S. has had the world's number one largest economy since 1960.
Yeah.
Has not ever missed a year where it was not the number one economy.
I was thinking it was something like that, seeing as how...
To the point where our GDP is double China's.
Yeah, right.
Even during the pandemic.
I was thinking it was something like that because, I kind of joked that, Chinese economy is our economy, but it basically is.
It more or less is.
Chinese economy is probably number 2-ish, give or take.
Yeah, it's about 70% of the U.S.
And
economy.
So much like how we like to have the two most powerful air forces in the world, being the Air Force and the Navy, we also like to have the two strongest economies in the world. Why be number one when you can have first and second place?
Simply by splitting it into two.
Look, we can split into half and we're still better than all of you. I gotta laugh where you can. So the thing that drives me crazy about this is all the people like Governor Cox, for example, so brave of Joe Biden to step down from the race. What a patriot. Right. Y'all realize, and most of you also were part of it in threatening him to stand down. And then he finally does, and you're a patriot. You're a patriot for standing down for... Thank you for admitting that you're not able...
You're an absolute champion.
You're not able to continue the race, but darn it, you can finish out the last few months of your presidency.
We're so proud of Caesar for stepping down.
At 2 Brutus. We go to Brutus for a reaction to Caesar stepping down. It is very patriotic.
As he stands over the man with the bloody
as
knife.
cleaning off the knife with his robes.
What did you use that knife for? Huh? What knife?
I am not here.
I did not have stabbing relations
With Caesar.
with Caesar.
I was merely just scratching his back. Scratch me, I scratch you. You know, one of those things. Yeah. Yeah, and so he's turned around and endorsed Kamala Harris. And we don't have a link for all of the stuff because, well, if I could send a link to our group chat, you would have every link.
And
All 100 of them.
hilarious discourse for days and days. So that's all we do is send each other memes and links all day long.
Yeah. Reacting to this.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he's backing Kamala Harris. And, yeah, it's so great because Kamala Harris, she's already gained, enough pledges from the delegates, Democrat delegates, that she's going to win the nomination.
Sure.
She's so well liked that Barack Obama came out and said, when asked about Kamala Harris, he said, we'll be navigating uncharted waters in the days ahead. But I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges.
I believe in the process.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. I still think my favorite thing that's come out of this whole thing is the comment about Kamala is getting the type of hype Star Wars shows get right before the audience gives them a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. I read that and I was a little bit insulted on behalf of the trash tier Star Wars movies.
So they weren't that bad.
Like I see your point and it is valid, but how dare you?
It's a statement that makes you look back on it, kind of like how the new Star Wars make you look back on the prequels. Like, prequels weren't
that bad. Maybe the Acolyte wasn't that bad.
Perhaps I judged you too harshly. Yeah. So, a common theme that came up in our chat and constantly throughout all of this stuff is whatever cynical thing you can think of, they've already thought of it at least a few months ago, if not years ago.
Yes.
And they are way ahead of your cynicism. Well, Kamala Harris, she's the nominee. And at the convention, blah, 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 they don't care about the rules.
No.
Well, the convention rules state, yep. The convention rules also stated that Bernie Sanders was going to be the winner. But they changed the rules so that Bernie Sanders wouldn't win. Now we have super delegates in the Democrat convention. Super delegates that are not elected by the people.
Yeah.
They're just there.
Yeah. Well, and I believe there's at least 3 states that it's already too late to change from Biden without him dying or invoking the 25th.
Again, the rules don't apply to them.
Well, the rules don't apply to them in their own caucus, but they can't force the state to put her on the ballot.
Ohio changed their law to allow them to be on the ballot.
Oh.
Because, so the convention is August 18th, I think it is.
Yeah.
And in Ohio, you had to have your nominee on the ballot by this month, July.
Yeah.
It's okay, though, because Ohio, it's ran by Republicans, so therefore they'll block every effort of Joe Biden to, we didn't realize, we'll change the rules for you. Why? Because Republicans are spineless and refuse to use the power that they have to bring justice to their opponents. Well, imagine the imagery if they didn't allow Biden onto... Imagine the imagery if they actually got ahead of it and said, Democrats knew all the laws. It's been this way since forever.
Imagine
chose
the faith that would be built in somebody who actually obeyed the laws that they wrote.
Yeah. Instead of, oopsie poopsie, we don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
We don't want the contentions of the devil. Yes, it is. But the devil brings contention to make you capitulate. That's why contention is of the devil, to make you yield to what he wants.
You don't have to contend to stand steadfast.
No. A simple no
will suffice.
It's very sufficient. Hey, can you change the law to allow us to get on the ballot? We realize that, we set everything up beyond your deadlines, but can you change it for us? No.
An emergency, a lack of planning on your part
Does not.
This does not constitute an emergency on my part.
Right. Yeah. So there's a few states where crap like that happens. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the states in question pull some Bolshevik like that to allow them on the ballot. No matter
Wouldn't
who they
surprise
pick.
me, but
Now, the path of least resistance is Kamala Harris because, well, she's the DEI hire. And you've only pushed that since forever. So to skip over that would go against everything that you believe as a party, or at least that you promote to believe.
yeah.
And on top of that, the campaign funds.
Speaking of DEI, this is a fun sidetrack. You know they're trying to change the name. They're trying to rebrand it now.
Oh, because that'll work.
Yeah. You know what they're trying to rebrand it to? Let's see. It is IED.
Improvised explosive device?
That's what I said.
Oh, so it's only going to blow up your company if you adopt it. Cool. That's not what it means. Only every time.
Only every time.
Gestures towards Secret Service. Yeah. The path of least resistance for him is Kamala Harris, so they can still have access to the war chest that Joe Biden has. Because otherwise they'd have to shuffle the money around in all kinds of ways that they don't want to do. So they'll just do that. And basically right now, Kamala Harris, I believe, has until the convention to prove that she can have some sort of positive polling. To the point that's going to look like the election can go in their favor, or if not, be close enough to fortify in their favor. Fortify. In air quotes. Because if not, well, then she's not going to be the nominee come the end of the convention. Well, they're all pledging to be, The first round is the elected delegates. The second round is the super delegates, which can supersede the elected delegates.
Yeah.
Well, no, because there's more elected delegates than there are of the super delegates. Their convention rules say that if 300 delegates say we want a different candidate, they'll get a different candidate. And what was it Barack Obama said? I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges.
Yeah.
So there you go. The party Democrats are finding out real quick what democracy actually means.
Rules for thee, but not for me.
But we voted for Biden. Yep.
Yes, you did.
And he used the power he had and gave it to somebody else.
multiple other people, actually.
who took that power away from all of you.
Yes.
Because that's what democracy does, only every time in history.
But that's just because they haven't tried real socialistic democracy.
That's why you need democratic socialism. Yes, combine the two worst things ever. And that'll make it better.
Well, when you add two negatives, you get a positive.
Positive that it'll fail, yes.
That works in some things, not others. Pregnancy tests, for instance. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. I tried. Yes.
Wait.
And like you mentioned, Mike, part of the whole debacle thing with Biden is he delegated presidential powers to the treasurer, secretary of the treasury, and the secretary of state.
Yes. Which are, perfectly elected officials.
They're elected
duly
officials,
elected.
and he is in great health, which
Yes.
is why he's delegating his powers
Precisely.
as president. Now, to be fair, he has been seen in public finally.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And the audio recording of him calling it, the audio call. I pulled a Kamala there.
What a Freudian slip.
That definitely wasn't him slurring his speech as if he just had a stroke or something like that. Which made him leave Las Vegas in such a huss that people reported that Air Force One was shuttering the whole flight to Delaware. Which means it was flying near top speed the entire time based off of the 3 hours it took for it to get from Vegas to Delaware. Almost 4 hours. Huh. No, he didn't have a medical emergency. See, here's a doctor's note saying that he's in the best health he's ever been and the COVID is almost gone. Okay, but his brother's saying it's good that we're going to have him in his last days. Which is it? Taking advantage of the chaos, Representative Andy Ogles
Close enough.
from Tennessee introduced a resolution calling to impeach Harris. Oh, Harris is going to be your nominee? I don't think so. For high crimes and misdemeanors, arguing that during her term as vice president, Harris, quote, has demonstrated extraordinary incompetencies in the execution of her duties and responsibilities, end quote. Specifically, Ogles claims Harris has exhibited a stark refusal to uphold the existing immigration laws and palpable indifference to people of the United States suffering as a result of the ongoing southern border crisis. She is the border czar for Joe Biden, and she hasn't met with the head of ICE once, or the head of Border Patrol once. And when she goes to the border, she goes to a very secure spot on the border, waves at it, and then walks away.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So there's that. And this is a little recap of part of just one day this last week. July 21st. Joe Biden suddenly resigns via X. White House staff finds out 1 minute later. Joe Biden resignation letter, not on official letterhead. Biden's signature suspect. Steve Ricchetti helped write the letter. Jill Biden tweets heart emoji response. White House wipes Biden's schedule. White House chief of staff calls cabinet, manages comms. Frank Biden confirms health a factor. Family suggests Biden may have terminal illness. Joe Biden holds no live press conference. Where is Joe? Huh. That's just part of one day this last week. The palate cleanser. Horses aren't gay.
Oh, goody.
Come on. Come on. And it looks a little something like this. So it's some horses and a crosswalk that's painted in rainbow fashion.
Mounted police force. Oh, don't like the colour. Don't like the colour.
Ain't touching no crosswalk. Not touching that
brilliant,
pride crosswalk. No homo.
That's the most homophobic thing I've ever seen.
Well, they saw what happened to the kid on a bicycle. They're not about to get a lawsuit thrown on them. For all I know, they're going to shoot me if I walk on this thing. What happens if I need a poop? That's funny. I'm not touching that. What is music? That's illegal.
I don't know. What is music? Why are you musicking?
I don't know.
Can you stop
Stop it.
musicking?
Gosh.
Jeez.
That should be illegal. Hey, thanks for opening this tab. We're going to start playing sounds now.
Seriously.
And good luck finding where it's originating from.
Well, I mean, the Chrome tabs put a little sound icon.
Yes, but then you have to scroll through the page to
Correct
find where
tab.
it's actually coming from.
You could just close the tab.
But I need the tab.
That's fair. You can also just click the little speaker icon in the tab thing and it mutes it.
Yes. Perhaps if I'm not in a panic next time, I'll do that.
Just stop and breathe.
So the failed assassination attempt.
Oh, yay.
That's where we're at now. Ton of stuff coming out on that.
Only a lot.
My favorite, I don't know what your favorite is, but my favorite was this.
Oh, yeah. Luke's post.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, well, here it is. There's the rooftop from where the sniper shot. Just a couple of feet away from the window of the building where police were stationed inside of.
Say what?
Yeah, the police were inside that station. Well, the roof was too sloped, we learned. And then we learned, well, it was too hot for the team there, so the team went inside the building to cool off. Oh. Okay. And they couldn't look out the window once?
Wow.
just once. Maybe. Yeah, you can see the red barns there, the stage area, all right there.
Yeah, it's almost like the perfect place to take a shot.
Almost like that.
I mean, inside that room where they were standing.
Right.
It's
It's
almost
air
the
conditioned.
Perfect place to take a shot from.
Gosh.
Oh, really interesting. Actually, something that I didn't know. If you scroll down there a little bit, there's a guy that commented on there with an article from Just the News, and I missed this somewhere. But he posted an article. Trump gunman had Michigan school shooter's photo, foreign encrypted apps on his phone.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah, and
That came out yesterday, last night at about 5 o'clock p.m., apparently.
Apparently. There's a link off to the side of body cam footage shows sniper had eyes on crooks.
Well, there's also other
Sure
reports
they
that
did.
one of the snipers took a shot at him and missed.
Yeah. Yeah. Director Cheeto, who used to work security for Cheetos.
Used to could. Now that she's been fired, she might could again.
Well, she didn't fire. She wasn't fired. She was resigned. She resigned.
She was resigned.
Yes, resigned.
She was resigned. Yes.
Well, when you're in a hearing, quote unquote, answering questions, and both sides of the aisle are grilling you, our list of allies grows thin, Aragorn.
If AOC isn't dumb enough to fall for your bullshit, nobody is.
Yeah, she actually asked good questions. One of which was, he used an AR-15, which is the most popular rifle in America, which is true. Has an effective range of 400 to 600 yards, which is true, depending on the user.
I mean, the gun is always effective at 400 to 600 yards. Yeah, it's the person
Correct.
using it that's not
Correct.
effective at 400 to
Correct.
600 yards.
Correct. But she asked the director, why was the secure perimeter not at least 400 to 600 yards to secure against the most popular rifle used in America?
That is a shockingly good question. I may have to reconsider my expectations of that woman. Wow.
Whatever notch she was on, she moved up just a tick. Yeah.
I mean,
And of course, most of her answers were, well, the FBI is investigating that. The FBI, I don't have answers for that. I'll get that to you later. Yes, it was an abject failure on our part. Blah, blah, blah. Why wasn't there anybody on that roof? An investigation's going in on that. Who actually took the shot? I can't tell you who took that shot. Yes, you can. Did you talk to that guy? Yeah, I talked to him. Can you tell us what you talked about? Nope. You are aware that we sign your paycheck? Again, I would love for a congressman.
well, we can't reveal that because it's sealed because ongoing investigation.
Yes, and it's ongoing for the rest of forever. Right. Yeah, I would love for any congressman at some point in any hearing where the person is stonewalling to just cut off their stonewalling and ask them if they would like to explain to their employees why they're not getting paid next week. What do you mean, Congressman? Well, if you don't start answering questions, your funding is gone. Because why do we fund anything that you're not going to report to us on? It's kind of the point of oversight.
Yeah. I mean, dude, this is absolutely crazy. This gunman and everything, it was not only was it handled poorly from beginning to end, but the gunman himself is fishy as hell. I mean, how do you not have any evidence of political or ideological anything?
It's an ongoing investigation. It's been 9 whole
Nothing.
days. 10 days.
Yeah. So they've revealed that they found in his vehicle at the location, they found 2 explosive devices with a remote function, a drone, a tactical vest with plates in the front and back, and 4 extra magazines full of whatever AR-15 ammo he was using. I don't know if it was the 5.57 or the 223, but whichever one he was using. 4 magazines full of that ammo. And
That's rookie numbers.
then they found in his residence 14 additional weapons, one more explosive device, a secondary cell phone, a laptop with hard drive, and 3 USB devices. This kid was like 20.
With basically zero social media presence.
Yeah. In this economy?
Oh, and one of the phones was encrypted with links to foreign bank accounts.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what you're telling me is this was either gross negligence on the part of Secret Service and the local police and whoever else was there, or he had an encrypted phone with foreign bank accounts. There's nothing in between. This is either a colossal failure
Or an inside job.
or an incredible amount of coincidences with a foreign bank account linked to a encrypted phone for a 20-year-old. Well, he was really smart. A 20-year-old fresh out of high school.
He obviously wasn't that smart because he missed 10 times at 130 yards.
A 20-year-old that owned a van
Down by the river. Which is saying something in this economy.
down by the river.
In this economy, you don't own and live in a van down by the river. You rent and own. Or rent and live in a van down by the river.
Yeah. Was able to purchase and make explosives without the FBI being triggered to that at all beforehand.
No.
Except for, they did find, turns out there's a cell phone that pinged a lot at his house that also pinged a lot at the FBI office. But we have no idea who he is.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that was one of the things. Yeah, hey, this phone was at his house a lot and also right next to an FBI office a lot.
So can you put us in touch with his handler, please? We would like to know who his training officer is.
The FBI wouldn't do that. Go back and watch us talk about Gretchen Whitman.
I was going to say, yeah, just like they wouldn't kidnap a governor.
And frame Republicans for it. Oh, this kid was a registered what?
Oh, Republican.
Oh. That donated to who?
Democrats.
Huh. I like one story that made me laugh was the high school came out, said so he was never on the shooting team. They were quickly community noted. The claim was never that he was on the shooting team. The claim was that he didn't make the shooting team because he was such a terrible shot. He was never on the shooting team. We know.
Because he didn't make it because he was such a terrible shot.
Because he failed the tryout. Apparently that school's comprehension scores are off the charts.
Apparently.
Yeah, and the kid flew a drone over secure airspace over the event. And the sniper that took the shot was 448 yards away, not the guys that were on the rooftop behind truck.
Effective range, 400 to 600 yards.
And I'm guessing he was not using an AR-15.
Probably not.
If he is a designated sniper, highly doubt that was an AR-15.
Yes.
And we're not allowed to know where that sniper was or what he saw because it's an ongoing investigation. Whatever. So you remember the ladies that were definitely helping Secret Service get Trump into the car?
Oh, yes. The one that couldn't holster her gun?
Yes, the what's her name? The actress lookalike. Amy Schumer.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Lookalike, yeah. So the DEI jokes ran amok, as well as criticism of focusing on DEI instead of focusing on protection. Well, it turns out that, they probably weren't actually Secret Service agents in the first place. They were just Department of Homeland Security employees.
What?
As well as most of the rest of the, quote, Secret Service, end quote, staff.
Well, then maybe the shooter was using an AR-15. I mean, the sniper that actually got him.
Well, he could have actually been one of the few Secret Service agents there, or one of the few police sniper teams there.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the Secret Service sniper teams didn't meet with the other sniper teams for briefing beforehand, so they would know, each of their locations and not shoot each other.
Lane of fire. Because it's not important at all to know.
No, so then
what
if
your field of fire is and what your
so then that way
opposite sniper's field of fire is at all.
Yeah, so then that way when you see someone crawl up onto the rooftop of a building that's not supposed to have someone crawling onto the rooftop of a building, right away you need to just eliminate that threat.
Yeah.
Instead of radioing it in and that communication not getting to Trump's immediate team because they're not connected to that communication. Oh, and I'm sorry. We didn't record the communications that were happening that day. Are you trying to build on the conspiracy, or are you trying to diffuse it? Because it feels like... feels like...
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean... That's so stupid. Well, and these studies, she's talking about the effective range of the 15 being 400 to 600, right? Mm-hmm. And why didn't she push the security zone out to 600? Easily could have done that with properly equipped snipers. Because if you look at a typical sniper rifle used by security services is either a 300 Win Mag or 338 Lapua.
Something that's got a lot of mass and a lot of range.
Mm-hmm. A 300 Win Mag has an effective range of about 1,250 yards. So double an AR-15.
So you can think you're being all stealthy, sneaky, but they've been watching you for a while.
They've been watching you for a good minute. 338 Lapua has an effective range of 1,900 yards.
You're dead before you hear the shot.
Yes. Yes.
Well before you hear
the shot. So, I mean, it kind of would make sense that you should tell these people that can reach out and touch somebody where the other people that can reach out and touch somebody
Can you look out that window and confirm that there's a guy on the roof that's not supposed to be there? Just,
quick.
Just a glance. Something. Open the window, tell him, hey, get off the roof. Yeah, something. He's got a gun.
You fools! We've all got guns!
Exactly. It's like...
Solid Aladdin reference.
You don't get to use that one often.
He's got a sword.
So yeah, Alejandro Mayorkas has responded to the women in law enforcement. And
the same Mayorkas that told the Cheadle not to give her testimony?
The impeached Mayorkas?
Impeached Mayorkas?
Uh-huh.
Who encouraged somebody else to, ignore a summons by Congress?
Yeah. Only to have her go to Congress and saying, I'm being very transparent. To which she was rightfully called out. Which is why we had to subpoena you to show up.
Yes.
You're so transparent, we had to force you in here to testify. To Department of Homeland Security defended women in law enforcement prior to a Monday hearing on security lapses at July 13th rally where former President Donald Trump was nearly killed. Secret Service has come under fire for all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Mayorkas' statement, in the days following the attempted assassination of former President Trump, some people have made public statements questioning the presence of women in law enforcement, including in the United States Secret Service. Yes, the main questions being, why is his immediate detail shorter than him?
Yes.
And not strong enough to carry him.
My own wife, when she found out that there were women in his security detail, was like, wait, why? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We broke down on our way to Beaver, and she's watching because they had the news channel on, whatever, ABC. So she's sitting there working, and the news channel is going on. She looks up and she's like, "Wait, the head of Secret Service is a woman? That's a bad idea." Yeah, I was dying.
Well,
I didn't say it.
I'm not saying it, I'm just saying.
My hands are clean. I looked at her, I was like, yeah. Did you know like half of his detail were women? She's like, that's stupid.
yeah.
She's like, no, I've been trying to avoid it because you talk about it enough without me having to watch it somewhere else.
Did you see the different angle of that?
The one with the chick hiding behind him, or
no, it's
another different angle.
It's you can see the back of the car as they're getting him loaded in the car. And you can tell those women have no idea what to do.
Oh no.
Because everyone gets loaded into the car except for them. And they're just kind of walking around like, and just
they were DHS agents, not SS agents. So they didn't know what to do for the Third Reich, Fourth Reich, whichever Reich we're on.
It's the SS. Mayorkas continues. These assertions are baseless and insulting. Baseless.
Baseless.
Every single day in communities big and small across our great country, women are serving in federal, state, local, tribal, territorial, and campus law enforcement. They are highly trained and skilled professionals who risk their lives on the front lines for the safety and security of others. They are brave and selfless patriots who deserve our gratitude and respect.
Yeah.
We're not discounting that those women weren't brave because they did go into gunfire.
I want to know the statistic. I want to know if they've actually done a study that shows how much more often a woman officer has to resort to violence during a traffic stop.
I bet that's a thing already.
I would bet it is a thing, and I bet the number is astronomically higher.
I bet it's so much of a thing, you probably can't find it.
Probably.
Anything about it at all.
Yeah. Because I would almost guarantee, I'm like 99.9% sure that number has got to be higher, like way higher.
And to be clear, because we're in the age of where you have to clarify everything. I'm not saying that women absolutely should not be in those positions at all.
No.
It's keep it a merit-based system. If they pass the requirements of a merit-based system, sure, let them be in there.
Yeah. Well,
and I do have a moral thing about war and sending them on the front lines of war.
Yes.
But that's a whole nother bag of worms.
Yes. Well, but I have the same problem with them serving as officers.
Yeah.
Because the reason that number would be higher is because women would be much more threatened in a situation of confrontation.
Well, that's why I say the thing of merit. And you don't bring the requirements down like they have been doing.
Right.
You keep them high.
Right.
Well, there's no women in the Navy SEALs. Yes, because the requirements are way up here.
Yes.
Well, yet they can't meet those requirements.
Exactly.
They have to be strong. They have to endure. And they have to not be emotional wrecks.
Yeah.
When the ish hits the fan.
If you can't meet the requirements, you shouldn't have the job. Period. Ever.
Done.
On any job.
We go back to the beginning. No.
Yes. Precisely.
But it's been my dream the whole time. Exercise more. I don't know what to tell you. No.
Yeah.
We in the United States Department of Homeland Security, the largest law enforcement organization in the federal government, for now, will, with great pride, focus, and devotion to mission, continue to recruit, retain, and elevate women in our law enforcement ranks. Our department will be the better for it and our country more secure. I dislike that man so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even saying that there aren't jobs that women are better suited for, even in law enforcement. But the day-to-day security and things like that, it's not one of them. Mm-hmm. It's just not. And there might be a woman here or there that can meet the requirements, that can handle it, and not have to have a higher confrontation rate than their male counterparts do. But those are few and far between.
What's her name that was on The Mandalorian? Used to be the UFC fighter or whatever.
Oh,
Carino or something like that.
Yeah. It's gosh, if you hadn't asked me, I'd have been able to tell you.
I knew as soon as I started saying it that I'd tie your tongue up. But yeah, anyways, her. I bet that she would beat me in almost every physical activity.
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
Yes.
Yes. She would most likely beat me in almost every physical thing.
Beat me like a Cherokee drum. a redheaded stepchild that owed her money. I have no illusions about the state I would be in.
Yeah, there's this top Trump advisor, Chris LaCivita, slams the right-wing criticism of the women on Trump's Secret Service detail and tells me, I saw two women, one of them with a gun in her hand and the other with her body around him. That's pretty effing badass where I come from. Yeah, well, that's not necessarily what we're criticizing. It's the absolute look of terror and confusion that was on them, as well as not being big enough, tall enough to actually be a body guard.
Right.
That's the criticism. Yes, it was very brave of them to actually rush in while the bullets are flying. That's fine. But they don't meet the minimum job requirements to be the immediate detail around President Trump. That's the issue. That is the issue. In Utah, there's this guy, Todd Wheeler. I believe he's some attorney or something, a Republican attorney.
Oh, of course he is.
He's defending Coxie as much as he can at any chance he gets. Deidre Henderson, our lovely lieutenant governor, posts about all the threats that she's getting. So many threats. I get threats from people across the political spectrum, but the worst and most come from people who think their voices won't be heard at the ballot box, whose fears and emotions are being manipulated by politicians who weaponize grievance to score political points. With a bunch of screenshots of people that are threatening. They're so threatening that she's filed police reports about the... Oh, no, she hasn't. Okay. Todd Wheeler retweeted that. Absolutely disgusting. This is what happens when elected officials and candidates strive to undermine the public's confidence in our elections. Speaking of Lyman, not of Henderson. Someone rightly questioned. So you're the lawyer. Can you answer some quick questions? Can Deidre share these with the name exposed? What's the legal ramifications sharing the names? What's the legal ramifications realistically of people posting? he said she's literally following the law that Lyman voted for, and sent screenshots highlighting the things that she's repeated over and over again of she's not allowed to share the signatures, and whatever is shared can be redacted up to a certain amount, blah, blah, blah. Lyman commented, "You forgot to include this section. This bill was not intended to keep information out of the hands of candidates, legislators, citizens. It provided that a voter ID would be used in place of a signature, and that an individual would be able to view the packets. It is so simple unless you are trying to twist it into something it was not intended to be." And he highlighted a document or electronic list containing the name and voter identification number of each individual who signed the initiative packet. The county clerk shall provide to an individual upon request. So that's, you forgot to include the part where it allows me to do what I'm doing. And the part where she's not following all of the law.
Yeah. Even in that part that he highlights there.
Todd Wheeler.
Yeah, the
Yes.
part that Todd Wheeler highlights there, it says a record classified as private requires a records custodian to provide a list of names instead of a signature.
Except for a record classified as private, yes. It requires. Yeah, so it's a private list. No. That list of voters that supposedly signed for Cox is a public list.
So you can view but not make a copy of a signature. But if the record is classified as private, the records custodian must provide a list of names instead of a signature under the provisions of this bill. The very section that he highlighted says that they have to provide the names.
I would not want him as a lawyer.
Seriously. At least that's the way I read it.
The records custodian of a signature described in subsection blah, blah, blah shall, upon request, except for name or signature classified as private under Title 20A, Chapter 2, voter registration, provide a list of the names of the individual who signed the petition or request. Oh. And Lyman is asking, he's asking for the signatures or he's asking for the names? He's asking for the names. He doesn't care about the signature. He cares about the names and the addresses. Well, that's private information. That's public information. If you are registered to vote, that is public information. Your name and your address.
Well, and somebody on here was like, "Oh, that's whatever the piece that Lyman highlighted and put in there." He says, "Well, that's only for like referendums. That's specifically for initiative and referenda packets," is what he says.
I don't see referendum in the.
No, because so his what he quotes there is subsection 6 of section 20A-7-605, which is the one regarding obtaining signatures, verification, and removal of signature. Right. So section 6 is what Lyman highlights, which says the county clerk shall provide to an individual upon request a document or electronic list containing the name and voter identification number of each individual who signed the initiative packet. So initiative packet can be any number of things. It can be a referendum packet. It can be
an initiative to be on the ballot.
To get on a ballot. It can be a petition. It can be, any one of those things that require a list of signatures count as that. So, don't get it twisted. This doesn't pertain to only a handful of things, but not other things. This refers to everything. Anything where you collect signatures, the county clerk is required to provide to an individual upon request a document or electronic list containing the name and voter ID of each individual who signed. So, and that's even in the section that the dude highlighted. It basically says that.
Yes.
You know, is if you read the entire, like the highlighted provisions of the bill, there's only 4 points to it. The bill provides that signatures on a voter registration record, a political petition, a request to withdraw a signature from a political petition, and other documents relating to elections are protected records. So it's stating that anything that you have to get signatures on, as far as a political petition, request, or withdrawal, whatever, that is a protected record. So, as a protected record, people are allowed to view but not copy signatures on the record. And they are also allowed to view the names involved with the signatures, but not the signatures themselves, in order to audit.
And to be fair, Lyman or Cox did send the signatories and all that too. Lyman.
Yes. And how he had the same person named Private sign however 1,000 times he needed in several different counties is beyond me.
You have in the left column, privacy, private, all the way down. Voter ID, private, all the way down. First name, private. Middle name, private. Last name, private. Address, private. City, private. Zip, private. Record status, valid. Invalid party. Valid. County, all over the place.
Yes. So I want to know where they found people, that many people
Named
that
private,
are named private, and how many of them are privates in the military?
and live at private in private.
I didn't know there was a private Utah. What?
Very off color joke just crossed my mind. So
Well, let's hear it. I like colored jokes.
it's in reference to where you got your truck fixed after it broke down.
In Nephi?
No, it's close. Close. Go ahead and rewind and find out where he went to Big O Tires. Somewhere around there, I think, is where private Utah is.
That's terrible. That's funny, but that's terrible.
Again, my grandpa had a newspaper clipping from I don't know when, and I don't know what newspaper. Something smells in Beaver.
Something smells in Beaver.
Posted in his locker in his garage, where grandma could not see it. Grandpa.
That's too funny.
Yeah, that's the that's the level of clarity that we're being given here in Utah. Lyman is the one that's what was the word? According to Todd, Lyman is the one that this is what happens. While election officials and candidates strive to undermine the public's confidence in our elections, Lyman is the one that's doing that when he's receiving, okay, here's the signatures. Here's the signatories. It's all redacted. It's not redacted, it's private. It's all redacted. Yeah.
Okay. Like literally everything that guy highlighted
Goes against him.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, the record's custodian of a signature described in subsection whatever shall upon request, except for a name or signature classified as private under Title 20A, Chapter 2, voter registration, provide a list of names of the individuals who signed the petition and permit an individual to view but not copy or other image of the signatures. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe this is one of those GOP guys where the TDS just broke him.
Yeah. Well, and I'm except for a name or signature classified as private under Title 28, but that goes back to the thing that Lyman brought up, where it's like, at that point, it's just the name and voter ID. It's not the signature. That's what 20A states.
Yep. All he wants to do is confirm that a person lives at the address that they say they live at, that's signed the document that says that Cox can be on the primary ballot. That's all. Mm-hmm. Well, that's private. But it's not. Especially since he's a public employee. Yeah, a lot of people were also harping on Lyman. Why don't you share your medical information then? That's not the same. It's not the same thing, because again, your address is public information. If people know your name, they can find your address. If they know your address, they can find your name. It's how it works in society. Generally speaking. Unless you're in Las Vegas, then your address could be underneath a overpass. But whatever.
Or Arizona.
That's neither here nor there.
Either one. All of the above.
Yep. For when you're fortifying elections. That's it. That's the wonderfulness that we have from this last week.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Yes, I am. Very tired of this.
Nazi fags.
The good news, though, is that Kamala Harris can move forward with what can be, unburdened by what has been.
Because
Biden has been.
Because today is tomorrow's today. Mm-hmm. And yesterday is today yesterday.
And the United States is in the Western Hemisphere. It's made up of multiple states that are like small countries.
Did you actually hear the bit where she said that? Like,
I've heard them all. It hurts every time.
I just can't.
I can feel my brain going,
I have a small stroke every time. Every time.
Maybe that explains Biden's problems.
That might be. That's it. We've solved it. He wasn't really having health issues. He just had to talk to Kamala every day.
Why did I pick her? Why?
Why? I'm literally now dumber for having heard.
But hey, she loves school buses. The yellow school buses.
Yes. The ones with kids on them.
Raise your hand if you've ridden on a school bus. Throw in awkward, nervous cackle somewhere in the middle of that. And her favorite thing is Venn diagrams. With the circles and they overlap each other so you can compare.
We can officially say that AOC is smarter than the Vice President of the United States.
Going back to my favorite phrase ever, the bar is so low, it's practically a tripping hazard in hell. Yet here she is limbo dancing with the devil.
Yes. Precisely.
And she's got a Venn diagram to prove it.
She's got a Venn diagram to prove it. Things I understand about yesterday. Things I understand about tomorrow. Today.
All encompassed in one circle. She is a heartbeat away from being president, and she's one fortified election away from being president.
A very weak heartbeat away from president.
World leaders in general already don't respect women leaders on the world stage.
Yeah.
That's not true. The German the head of the Germans, everyone respected the Queen because she didn't get in everyone's business.
everyone respected the queen because she sat in her little building and ate tea and crumpets.
And watched her corgis. And slapped William and all the other grandkids to get in line.
And let Parliament run the country.
Yeah, that's why she was respected.
Yes. Well, like, share, subscribe.
All those things.
Thanks, Satan.
It's 13, actually.
Remember, you are not fighting an enemy of this earth. You are fighting an unseen enemy. Mm-hmm. It's the only way you can make any of this make any sense. Because it's senseless.
It is. So,
Galatians 4:16.
bye. Did you make an outro clip yet?
Of course not.
Do we have an outro clip? Do we even have an outro clip? Does one exist?
Just waiting.
Just waiting for it.
For an outro. A whole new outro.
It's
A
terrible.
dazzling scene that hardly anyone sees.
All right, I'm going to cut you off.
What's even better is this is at the end.
Yes, it's the best. They still won't know what's
The
going on.
sweet cherry on top.
Sweet cherry on top.
Governor, so.
A whole lot of
A whole lot of no names.
horses aren't gay. That is a great, great headline. I'm so excited to find out what that's about.
That's the palate cleanser before we shift gears.
That's
what that
the
is.
palate cleanser. That's what that is.
That's our it's like half-blind retarded.
You know how when
story.
you go for sushi, they put the pile of wasabi and the pile of ginger on for your palate cleanser? That's what that's for.
It's our half-blind retarded raccoon.
That's our half-blind retarded raccoon.
It's that story. It's right there.
What was her name again?
Sassy.
Sassy. Her name was Sassy.
She's got that blind retard strength. We can't have that on the streets.
If it weren't for government, who would shoot your blind autistic raccoon
Rescue raccoon.
named Sassy? Who would shoot that raccoon for you if you didn't have government?
That's what DNR is for.
Best line of that whole article. This is what the DNR is for. Glad you finally admit it. Murdering poor
Finally.
defenseless animals
Finally, some honesty
and
from
claiming its conservation.
I'll have to go back and just clip that as one little short to put out. Use that story. Oh, I don't know if we'll ever top that story.
I don't know if we ever will. But yes, we should clip that and make it a short.
It surpassed the brothel ice fishing.
You know what ice shanties lead to?
Prostitute.
Prostitution. What kind of bait are you using?
It's the guy reacting and the guy sitting next to him that sold that clip.
Oh, yeah.
The guy sitting next to him nodding along that, what did you just say?
What? Excuse the shit out of me.
Well then,
That took a turn nobody was expecting. A hook, even.
I got to tell you, Frank, I was with you there till
Right up until the prostitution bit.
Oh, so you agree with the prostitution? No, I just wasn't expecting left field to smack me in the face.
I mean, it is the oldest profession. And rather you aspire, or rather you aspire. Wow.
What aspirations do you have, Mike? Let the world know.
Whether you ascribe that to it being actual sexual prostitution or political prostitution, that's entirely your own decision.
Selling yourself. Corporate wants you to explain the difference between these two pictures.
It's the same.
It's the same picture. Romney's a political prostitute. Changed my mind.
The pictures are Romney in one hand and a hooker in the other. You can tell this is an actual hooker because it's an escort website at the top.
Maybe
Thanks, Mitch.
Maybe that can be a shirt we can make is get rid of the political prostitutes.
Get rid of the political prostitutes.
It's a work in progress.
and the second oldest profession, and it's just a picture of politicians. Oh, that's terrible.
It's a great 5 minutes start end to the
Yes, that's great.
That is worth holding on to the end for.
It's fantastic. Do you want to give everybody the clap now, or?
Oh, the clap has been given.
Oh, has it? I missed
yeah.
it. I missed the clap being given.
He missed the clap.
I missed.
And he's sad.
I am very, very sad that I didn't get the clap.
Well, next time.
It's the best 5-minute cold start we've ever had.
At the end.
At the end. Because why not?
Because.
That's right. There we go. Oh, shoot. I forgot to delete the old one.
Okay.
Oh, well. You'll just have to sort it out later.
That's you's problem.
That's a future Trevor problem. I love that our last guest asked what I even do here. That's how good it is.
That's how good it is.
So what is it that you even do? I
See these buttons here?
sit here and I look
No
pretty.
one's going to push them themselves.
I contribute the occasional jokey joke. That's what I do.
I'm the comedic relief.
That's right.
I'm also the crass relief.
That's right. You know, we are, if you know, people wanted highbrow entertainment, they would go somewhere where I'm not. So our content's at this level until I start talking, and then it's right here.
And that level is already a tripping hazard in hell. Mike likes to limbo dance with the devil.
I do enjoy it. It's my favorite sport. Right next to water polo.
Right next to it.
Still haven't figured out how to make it through a full game without drowning the horse, though.
That is the hardest part.
It is the hardest part of water polo.
Although the little long club thing does make it easier to keep everyone away, though,
That is true.
while you're trying to figure out the horse.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. Indeed. Well, shall we start then?
Yes, I
Okay.
guess we should.
I guess we should.
Push some sort of musical button. Cuckoo for Cornpop.